Righty, so I've cut a bit of rod about the right length. I've started cutting a thread on the end of it, and then the missus fucking called me on the phone, so I had to stop. It's probably enough, I don't know, just to give me a bit of adjustment. So I'm gonna, I think I was gonna make it adjustable at both ends, but I think I might just do it at one end, and then you can just wind it in and out a little bit if you need to. You know, we'll get it close. Well, I think, you know, we're close, but if we need a little bit of adjustment, we'll just with that pedal bits and pieces, this will give us a little bit of fine tuning, I guess. You know what I mean? So I'll find a nut now that it winds on there, and then I think I should have a bit of slightly bigger rod than this that I might be able to drill out in the centre. I think I've got some slightly bigger stuff here. I'll find something. I think I had a bit of 10mm left, or I might even find just a bigger bolt and modify it and drill it outward type sort of thing. Yeah, these will be too big. This is like too old. Two of those old frickin' linkages off the sides of the motors. But yeah, I'll find a bit of rod. I've got some bigger stuff here somewhere. They might be up there. I don't know if that's too big or not. But I might be able to drill this out in the centre. That'll work. Drill a little piece of this out in the centre so we can wind it up and down near the full depth. And then we'll make a little linkage to go on the side of it. And we'll just right angle the other end, if you know what I mean. So you can just turn it around a couple of turns or whatever. Or, you know what I mean? Hopefully that'll do, and we'll just get it close to the right length. Somewhere in the middle-ish of what we sort of see, and then we'll just make sure it's, when we bend the end, it's close to centre, or we can make it, maybe put a bit more thread on it or something, or shorten it up. I've cut it quite a bit, you know, a couple of inches-ish too long at the moment, so we've got a bit of adjustment to go, but yeah. I think I'll probably use this to maybe make the little piece figure to go around the ball. Or I've got this other piece. Maybe these in here, I might be able to use that bit. So I'm still going to try and make a ball somewhere, somehow, some little pivot. But yeah, I think a bit of that in there. I might be able to turn it down a little, make it a bit smaller. We'll see, mightn't have to. But yeah, we'll make a few bits and pieces up and be done with it. And make a linkage. Man, fuck's sake. Wasn't concentrating because the missus was fucking waffling to me on the phone and broke fucking tap off. Basically right at the end of the fucking thread. Fuck's sake. I'm trying to make the fucking rod linkage and then I have to go buy another cunt. Damn it. She rang me to fucking spiel on about some shit at home. I was just backwards and forwards slowly, and I fucking wasn't concentrating on how hard I was pulling it round. I must have got close to the bottom. God fucking damn it. Distractions, eh? Well, I got the hole re-drilled. It's not as frickin' nicely and centered as the last one. When I tried to center punch the thing, and I thought I had it pretty centered, but I don't know, when I used the drill press, whether the bit just wandered off a little bit at the start, possibly, but it'll be alright, I think. It's a pain in the fucking ass, so I had to do it. What a pain. Absolute pain in the ass, because I actually couldn't find the tap for a while, but it was actually tucked up against that edge in the shadow from the other day. Yeah, so now I've got to go buy another bastard. So I can't do much more until you do that, so I better go buy one. And then I might as well have some fucking lunch, I suppose. But yeah, so yeah. I thought I was fucking half buying the home stretch, because it took me fucking 20 minutes to buy the bastard. I was wandering around everywhere. Typical. Yeah. I've got a couple extra taps too, but no frickin'. Like I got a 6mm and a couple others as well, but yeah, I don't have another frickin' quarter 20 or whatever these guys call it, or a course. Actually, I hope they might have another phone shortly too. So you caught a 20 or UNC. So you better go get another bastard and try not to break it off. Fucking thing. I think your local engineers should have one. And you pain in the fucking ass. Damn it. Anyway. Yeah. It's alright. We'll make another one. We'll go get another one. Alright. I've got a couple of taps from Dad's. I'll have another go. And I got some, grab some cutting fluid off them too, just in case. I was using a little bit of CRC and whatever, but I've been meaning to get myself some of that. It's like everything else, you know, when you're fucking buying stuff, unless you make a big friggin' list, you forget. I'll get this thread cut. This time. Right. Oh, see how far this one's in there. It's about close enough. Just got to get a nut at the end of it anyway to rock her on. Fair bloody way. That gives us a couple inches of, well, close to a couple inches of adjustment. Well, you can always flatten that thread off too. Freaking tape that up. I'll take the tape off this, we'll get them a little bit further. Get stuck in the worst point off that. Quite a big point on it. Four. Yeah, it's pretty close. So we'll just only about that much. So that's about the width of a nut to lock us off. So that's cool. So I might go actually probably end up drawing the thread through from the other side anyway. A little bit. Now I need to make a ball for at least one end. Ball and socket. Not sure whether I'll do it both ends or not. That almost goes up to there, so it just leaves you that little bit to back that nut off. Tighten it up. That's perfect. Right. Okay, so how far does that go through? I'll cut that off. I thought that might have went in through, didn't it? It does. A little bit longer anyway, so I can get another piece of that rod at another end and make a little ball and bend it up. Is that going to be too small or not? Should be alright actually. Shortly we'll release that piece of that and just shape a ball up on it, and then we will bend a 90 on the end of the rod. I think we'll do that now. Yep, it'll work. I'll just weld a little bit of rod in there and whatever. Just cut this off. That's good. Or just see where the end of the thread comes to. Just cut it off right at the end. We will open that out to that size. Sure. But we will now cut a piece of this off. We can put the drill and shape like a ball. There'll just plenty to work with. See if we can work out a couple of measurements before I do bend this. It's not way out of frickin' kilter here. Don't know if you can see in here or not, but can you see in there? Probably not. Anyway, in here, so need about we try and bend it as close as we can here. We'll have to heat it and bend it. Enough in there. Whatever ball and socket. Right. Let's bend it. Righty. I want bolt, nuts, tube. There's a little bit of tube going. There. Got the cut off piece on. Where is that? Is it really long enough? It should be. Alright. We will try and take this and I don't know if I can get that too short. Betcha. I'll have to use the other piece. I'll have to use that bit. Just not sure whether I want it to shorten this up or not. Maybe a wee looky. Because it might make it easier to adjust if it's a wee bit further out too. A wee looky. Right. So we know it's down here. It's in there like that. Yeah, it might be too bad at there. You can get at the nut and shit if you need to adjust it instead of being way up here. That'll do. That'll do, son. That'll do. Something like that, anyway. Right, next. Right, anyway, we'll have a quick check of this bolt, but man, I don't know if you guys, any of you guys follow Mike Finnegan on from Roadkill, but on YouTube. Man, that rough as shit fucking Daytona charger. Whether, if it is a genuine Daytona, probably not, but you fucking never know. I didn't finish watching the episode, so I don't really know. But I just caught a bit of it at lunchtime. Man, fuck is that thing. As rough and as shitty as it is, fuck, that would be just cool to have with the fucking wing and the big nose cone on it. There's actually a guy in town here that's got one. Well, yeah, I think he's still got it, or he built one for somebody. Cool as fuck car. I've actually got photos of that. I helped for one day for a few hours while I was at panel shops in my mate doing some work on some other stuff, and years ago, back in the maybe about 2012, and they were building up one for a half-low race car, and they were going to put a NASCAR engine. But I think they were having problems with fitting the NASCAR into it. It might be in it now, but yeah, they were building that for a hill climb vehicle. Fuck, it was cool. Fuck, it was cool. And they had moved the window out and shortened the deck lid and everything on this charger. Yeah, fucking cool. And it actually had a genuine Superbird, or yeah, Daytona wing on it. It had the proper wing on it. It was actually a proper factory, aluminium. Yeah, it was aluminium or something like that. It was fucking, it was really strong. Like when you sort of look at them, you think, oh yeah, they'd be as weak as piss, but no, they're big, fucking heavy, quite solid, and you can crank the downforce on them, and they're quite cool. Like really, for a Mopar person, like I don't know, any Mopar man, would just love to have one. But yeah, just trying to get hold of one would be the thing, or get hold of the bits to make one even. And proper bits, not just the faker stuff, the proper wing and the whatever. Shorten that up about a third, a little bit more. Here we go. Let that off and clean that thread up, and we can add the other piece on there and make our little pivot. Wait. That's better. Oh. It's the thread. On that in there. About. Somewhere about halfway. Oh, holy shitballs. Better talk to this man. Alright, so we've got the little ball and socket made. Bit of a stupid, I didn't freaking leave any flats on there, but I can fix that. So, pipe was in here. Stick that in there. Guitar. Needs to be some deep yet, some of it there. Because worst comes to worst, if this is too long, we can just wind a bit more thread on this and chop it off and wind it in a bit further, if you know what I mean. I'd rather it be a little long to start off, and I've got a little bit of adjustment on there. We've been somewhere about here. I'm not doing the fucking thing here. Because this here has got to have that ball's got to be in there yet. On the other side too, that throw will go off, so extra. I can always shorten. Yeah. I just rather put a ball on there at the carburetor because then it's, you know, it's not going to bind up as much. You know what I mean? It should stop it from binding up. Jamming. Very well. Spring. Really needs another one on it. Two. But just gotta work it out. Right, we'll be in this here at 90. I marked. Put a mark where I want to bend, plus that's, you know, the opposite of where I want to bend. So I get myself all confused. might have to re-drill that whole backside and that rod far out, but reasonable range of motion there. This off a bit shorter and draw another hole in there. It's a bit short or a bit long for overkill. Mind you, I could always route a little tack of washer in behind there or something. It seems to want to sit. Seems to want to sit over there. That direction, so. I might put a wee bean in it yet. Sorry, wrong one. Pretty fucking easy. Anyway, we're kind of there. We're kind of there. Very good, very good, very good. We'll leave it there for today. Got a couple of little jobs I need to do. So, yeah. On the follow linkage made with a couple of minor adjustments, but yeah, that's us. Righty. Right, morning guys. So, I got that linkage made yesterday. I was going to do a couple of little more adjustments to it. Re-drill that hole in it. I'm going to shorten this up and drill the hole a bit closer. I overestimated. It wants to sit around there like that too, so I might have to do put a couple of little bends in it or something like that just to make it sit a little better, but it's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with how it came out. So yeah, it's pretty tight up in there, frickin' hell it sits in there, but it does work alright. So yeah, it's just a wee bit of fine adjustment. And then we've got a ball coming for the accelerator. It's freaking pretty expensive for what it is, but what can you do when that's the ball you can get? So yeah, but I'll do a couple of fine adjustments, drill another hole in that, and we can put a split pin in that, and then we can button that up. Yeah, and then I'll quickly throw that back on, and then at some point we will work out all the fuel lines and bits and pieces, all that sort of stuff when we get to that point. Yeah, so and then I think I might start doing the rear end stuff, getting a bit of panel steel sheet metal and bits and pieces on the back, and just work out what we need to do with some other stuff, so I can actually get this freaking thing actually looking like a car with some bits and pieces on it. Right, a couple of little things I've been mucking around with this morning. So I've organised to just put a couple of flats on this, so I can get a spanner on there to tighten that up. And then same on, wrong spanner I think. Same with the spanner on here. Just a matter of what I could get to fit with the size of tube, whatever. Bit of rod that I made into. So I can get a spanner on there and a spanner on there to at least nip them up and tighten them up. So I put them in my pocket. I was trying to be freaking hunting for a freaking little spring washer, because this is the little bolt or screw that holds the carburetor linkage tight, actually on the carburetor on the butterfly. So keep moving. So I managed to get that out. So it was just, I needed a little spring washer, I think, just to try and get a little bit more pressure on it, a little more tension. Try and show you where in a second. Fun little job, especially when the carb's on there. I could take it off again if I have to, but yeah, should I show if I can. So yeah, the main linkage, I couldn't get it to hold still. I needed to tighten it up more, and I had no little spring washer or anything on it, just to try and maybe put a little bit more pressure on. It was pulling tight, so yeah, I found a little spring washer, hunted and hunted and hunted. I haven't got much more little tiny stuff left. So yeah, I'll see if I can get that in, see if I can get that tight with this on full back in a decent position, and then we will put that on and see if we can half reasonably adjust it, if you know what I mean. We won't be able to do too much until we get that ball and the pedal piece. So we get that sorted, and then at least then I can carry on with something else. Get this on, and then we can worry about other stuff later. We're trying to organise a dimmer switch for the lights on the dash. It looks a bit like a choke one. So it's a little bit like this, but twist, obviously, which goes over there. And we think, I'm not 100% sure, because there's no, apart from obviously the what do you call it, the switch on the dash on the column for the lights, we don't know, and we've been trying to work out an ignition switch of descriptions. Now there's no actual key ignition on this. There's a lockout on the gearbox to lock it neutral, so it can't be taken out, put into gear and driven it away. But we think, not 100% sure, because this is all pretty much lights, but we think through here there's meant to be like one of those flip switches, but not 100% sure. I think that's what's meant to be through here. We think, or through here, one or the other. We think this is the dimmer, and because every time you look at try and get a decent look at another car with all the stuff on it, everything, they all seem to be just a little bit different. Like, depending on whether it's 25 or 26 or whatever, some of them have like a little switch on here, or some of them had the key ignition here, the later ones. So yeah, like there's lots of little variations and differences, and then you see some people put like a little switch in here to probably to turn it off and on. Because you need something to obviously to cut the power to turn it off as well. So we need something, and that's what we think there's maybe meant to be like a little lever, like just a straight on-off switch. So you can turn it up and then just turn it off. Sort of type thing, but without a key. So yeah, we were trying to work that out too. We were trying to buy the switch from here. It's actually kind of near Arco. It's in Minnesota, down in Minneapolis. There's a guy who must got a whole heap of bits and pieces from somewhere. So he's got the right dimmer switch. So we were trying to get, we were having problems buying it off him and getting it to send it to us. So we're going to try and get Arco to buy it and then send it to us, which makes sense since he's kind of near him, so it won't be much freight to get it to him. It's just whatever it costs to get it to us. So yeah, we're just trying to see if we can organise like a proper ignition switch, and we think it's just one of those twist, switches. Not sure. So whether there's something we can find that's maybe just got a shaft that comes through here, and then it's got a lever on it with a nut on it, and it just screws on from the back. I don't know. I don't know what's ever been in here. Again, I didn't ever pulled it all apart originally, so it makes it kind of difficult, and probably a lot of the stuff wasn't there anyway, you know what I mean? So we're trying to work that out as well. Just, you know, spend a lot of time trying to figure things, and work things out, and find things. Anyway, I'll see if I can get this back together, see if we can get this to work properly, see if I can get that linkage to stop slipping. If not, I'll have to undo the nuts and drop the carburetor off. That's no biggie. We might have to do that anyway at some point to further stuff. But yeah, we'll see if we can get that hooked up, and then we'll get this vacuum tank back on here. Yeah, and we'll try and concentrate on something else. Get away from this area and get something else achieved, if you know what I mean. Look like you're getting something achieved instead of just small little things, improvements. Sometimes you feel like you get a little, it takes a bit to get forward, but yeah, it wasn't terribly difficult making that, but a little bit of time and just mucking around and organising. Then we broke the bit and had to go find another one, and yeah. Anyway, right, got that tight. It doesn't want to slip anymore, so it's good. Yeah, that's nice and tight now, so we're good there. So we'll get the linkage on. Right, so I've given that thing a quick etch, so I'm pretty happy with that now. I thought I'd better take it off and paint it. I'll paint it silver like the rest of them. Oh, apart from the shaft piece, but all those other bits I painted silver. I just think it, you know, it adds a little bit of nice contrast, I guess. So not everything's just black. It sort of distinguishes, you know, if you happen to be looking in there and you weren't quite sure what you're looking at, all the silver pieces are all throttle linkages, I guess, you know what I mean? So, I got that drawing with etch. So I want to put the tank in now. So we're going to put obviously this piece in here. So I better make a gasket for that, I guess, so that seals. And I'm assuming, you know, like this is obviously the bottom of the tank. Well, it'll be a bit like that. So I'm assuming this here, the gauze on it would be pointing down like that. You wouldn't have it that way. So like logic tells me that it should be sitting that way. So we'll make a gasket up to suit that, and then we'll put that on. So I should be able to use, hopefully, I'm thinking I might have enough of that other bit of frickin' gasket left. Yeah, heaps. So I'll make it out of that same stuff because it's nice and thick. I assume it'll be reasonably fuel resistant, hopefully. It won't matter too much. I couldn't imagine. There will be a bit of fuel splashing up there, but that should be fine. I'd assume. So yeah, we'll make a gasket up for there. At least we can get that on there and sealed up. We'll have to find a couple of bolts to screw on there. We'll sort that out too. But we'll get a gasket made, and at least then we can get that in. We can bolt this in, and then we can put, at least set the valance over and put, it's probably a couple of small side bolts in. We'll still have to sort out the main ones to hold it down, but we can get the ones that bolt in wherever they are on the side here somewhere. I think these ones. But we will have to sort out, obviously, these ones. And we'll get a bit more rubber. We'll figure out where those holes are meant to be. We'll punch a couple of holes in there so that you can at least, a couple of decent sized holes so you can get the bolts through. I was hoping to leave a bit more rubber in here, but we'll just sit another piece underneath it. Hopefully it'll stay there. Once bolted down, it should do. Just so it's not, you know, it doesn't rattle. Hopefully not. The other bolts are sitting there ready to go on. Except for that big nut, that was just a space when we were mucking around with stuff. So we'll get that bolted in, and then, yeah, I might, then we'll get the cover on, and then at some point I might try and figure out the bolts for the back of the diff cover. I'll at least get that on, possibly this afternoon. We'll see how we get on. So we'll make a gasket. Alright, found a couple of bolts of that, so we'll slip that in place. And bolt her in. The only thing I hope is we can get back onto these easy enough to put fuel lines and stuff on later. It may have to just undo a bolt and swing it down maybe at some point, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. We'll see if she fits in the hole. Alrighty, so I've got the rear valance here sitting ready to go. I just want to give it a quick clean or quick wipe down with a bit of soapy water. Just get the dust and dirt and shit off it. I've just punched the holes in the rubber, just the rubber backing that we've got on there, just so things, I don't know, just don't rub together, I guess you want to call it. So I got them in there so at least we can see where those holes are and bolts are and whatever and get that lined up. And then we will have to bolt. There's the 2 bolts that go on there, and then the rest of it goes on later with the mud guards and bits and pieces in these holes and whatever. So yeah, we'll have to organise some bolts to go in here. They're a little domed things. It's hard to explain it before. I might even make these into them. Possibly go down there like that, and they've got like a little washer sort of type thing underneath them, and these are slotters heads. So we'll just see, because these here won't go through those holes. They're not actually very big, those holes. What hole size are they, to be honest? What size of bolt can I get through there? Well, that's 5/16, that's quarter, let's have a look. Fucking hell. So 5/16 doesn't go through there, but quarter does. It's not very big now, are they? I'd love to fucking get one out of that car there. Just to see. So that's a 1/4 inch. That's a big fucking hole difference in that stuff. Yeah. Anyway, I'll have to work that out. And the other thing I want to get off the car up there is the fuel cap. And try and maybe do something with it at some point shortly too. But yeah, we'll get that sitting on there after lunch. Once we'll give it a quick wipe down to get rid of the worst of the dust and shit off it. We'll sit that on there, and then we can actually start. We can put the tail light tube in, tighten that up, because once we sort of put these bolts in, we'll put the tail light tube in, and the other stuff will have to come in. Then we'll be able to put the spare wheel piece on there and everything like that. Get that all bolted up properly. So actually make quite a wee bit of progress around the back of it. We'll get the tube for the tail light on, and then I'll have to start assembling that and whatever, and muck around with that and get some bulbs and stuff for it before we put it together. But yeah, and I think we're getting a new red lens made for it. I think he's trying to get one cut. I've already somebody, I think it's because it's a bit chipped and broken around the edges. I think there's a guy in a couple of hours away in a place called Dunedin, which is quite a bit bigger city than what we are here in Invercargill. And he must make a bit of that sort of stuff. He reckons he can make one, so we're going to get that new red, that curved lens remade, I think, by the sounds of it as well. He's not afraid of spending money on this thing. Yeah, because we're trying to find trying to get that other switch organised. And we're trying to work out what we're going to do for an ignition type switch. We thought there was 2 switches on eBay from the same guy, and actually in Minnesota near, I wouldn't say near Arco, but near Indianapolis or Minneapolis, whatever it is. Near Minneapolis. And he's got quite a bit of stuff, but he had some old vintage Studebaker switches, which are the same, exactly the same style. And one's got eye on it. We thought that was actually ignition, but I think it's the same thing as the head, is the dash dimmer switch. There's ones with arrows on it that goes both ways. So yeah, we're just not sure, because they look the same on the back, but they might not be. Be quite cool. But the other thing is, we are thinking that it was one of those little lever type actions, but a lot of them have a big huge plate on it, and there was one just come through here, a bolt on the back, and just had the shaft with the lever and the nut on it. That would be perfect, but we're trying to work it out, because there's that many variations of these fucking things. When we started looking to try and hunt out, because we spent probably an hour and a half, or good hour and a half, maybe 2 hours this morning, just trying to work some of this crap out, so we can get these, try and get Arco to buy one of these switches and then send it to us, because for some reason we couldn't get the payment to go through on eBay to send us the switch. But some of them had a switch on here, and then some of them had the key in here and the switch on here, and then, so yeah, just there's all sorts of different funny things going on. So, but yeah. But anyway, I'm gonna go have some lunch. So yeah, we'll get that on after lunch, and we'll put the tube in for the head, for the tail light number plate piece. Get that snugged up, get that on, and bolted. At least these two bolts in here, we'll get them in. Bits and pieces like that, that can't fall off, and we'll get the spare wheel carrier on there, and yeah. And then at some point we'll have to polish up the rear fenders and get them on, and we'll have to get the rubber stuff in between the guards and the whatever, and get all that on there as well. But yeah, we might actually make some progress and actually make it look like a bit more like a complete car in the back anyway. Because I don't want to put the rest of the sheet metal on just yet around the front until the only probably other thing I want to put on is maybe that front valance. But yeah, we'll get it together shortly.